and welcome back to the Mindful Model Maker. This is just another little project that I started, which is a Bowaters model. It'll probably be reading back to front on the camera, but don't worry about that. So Bowater models, if you look them up, most of his stuff is either made of ply or it's the laser cut wood. This is a laser cut van that I'm building in Gauge 1. Okay, what happens when you get this, it's all in pieces, a bag full of bits, but when you first get it you think, I don't know how that's going to go, but actually it goes together quite nicely. On this one you get different versions, so this will make up, I'm doing the southern region van, which I believe, yeah, this is the one, is a van B, is the one I'm building here. All the green bits that you see on this picture there, you've got the periscopes at the top there, you've got these bits with the rivet detail, so they're pieces of angle iron, like with the bolts or rivets. I think they're bolts actually, that go through holding the whole wagon to bits. And then in the centre bit you've got the brake van part of it. So, and inside there will be a handbrake, a seat, and you'll have the two mirrors that correspond with the periscope, so that the guard can look at the mirror and see in both directions along the train to make sure that it's working okay. So that's the one I want to do. There's the one I'm building. So you get the bag full of bits. I think it was around about 65 pounds, something like that. Now all these bits that are on here, which I'll show you in a bit more detail, you can see them now. So the raised up bits of the door are just more pieces of laser cut wood, which you glue over the surface so it gives it a little bit more. Then the plastic like channels that go down there with the little bits, they're all 3D printed. Now when they come, you don't think they're going to come out like that, but they're kind of 3D printed in whatever kind of stuff that he's got and whatever colour. So this bit that I've got in my hand now makes this piece here. This piece here comes out as one. So you've got like a rivet detail that goes down that corner. Then you've got that angle coming there. Then you've got this bit that goes down there. And that's what these are. So that would all cut out. So you cut away all this other stuff which is not used, and you will end up with those bits there. Then on the ends of the actual wagon are these pieces down here. All right, I've painted it black. I mean, I've seen one that's painted black. It's very difficult to, I don't think there's too many of these around, but yeah, so all I've done is give it a rough coat to start with, just to give it an idea what it looks like. Because what you need to do before you put the roof on, now the roof, I will show you that when I come to it, is made of just very thin sticks, and basically you put them, I'll see if I can find a picture, I think you can see on this picture here actually, on the top here, you can see there's lots. Now what I'm going to do is, when I've glued all them on, I'm going to then get some car body filler and put over, and then smooth it all in so it's a smooth roof going round instead of all the little sticks, because to me that don't look very realistic or very professional. So I'll change that bit myself, but that's what I'll do. That gives the form, and then you can just spread filler, rub that down nice and gently and bring it, smooth it round, you'll get the proper shape. Yeah, it takes a bit of time, a bit of patience, but that will give you that. But these are very good wagons and really very cheap, because when this is finished, I mean, you can't buy this off the shelf ready built, so the only way you can get this is to build it yourself, and I think it's a lovely kit. Bit daunting when you open the packet and there's just all these bits of wood and things, but the instructions are there. You can go onto his website and you can see pictures of one that have been made. So I went onto the website, and there is a picture of one that somebody has made. Okay, so that's what it'll come up. And as a Gauge 1 wagon, paying around about the 70 plus the postage, it's still a cheap, you know. Probably when it's finished, you know, if you see one, they probably want about 300-400 quid for it already done, you know, because that's what these type of wagons are going for. But it's just a nice thing to build yourself. Now, it doesn't come with the bogies. He does do bogies of his own. I just looked around, and on eBay there was a pair of second-hand bogies going, and Gauge 1, so I just purchased them. And then when I got it, there's no instructions of how to really fit anything on it. So all I did was buy some 5mm bolts, like so, hexagon head bolts, and, well, they're not bolts, they're actually screws because they're threaded right the way down. But inside the wagon on the floor, where you can see the head and the washer, there is a mark showing where the bogies have to go. So all I did then, I just got a drill that would just allow a clearance for the 5mm and drilled out both of them holes. Then what I use is I use a washer. You can get these big, like in engineering, they're called like repair washers, or they're bigger. So what I've done is just put that through there and then slot that through the floor of the wagon itself. Okay, so when I'm all ready for the thing, I will probably araldite that on the inside so it doesn't move, because all I need to do on the outside is have it like this. So I put another one of them washers the other side like so, so that that's going to give strength to that area. Then you can slip on the bogie like so. Well, what I did, I put a washer first, because I put that on first, then I put that on, and then I can adjust that by using, because there's two nuts on the outside, one which is holding the whole bolt hard against the floor, so that that's going to make that stable. Obviously I need a bit of a space between there, because otherwise the bogies will hit the woodwork. So I've tested it on a piece of curved track, so then that's giving me what I need to turn. If it's a bit more, then obviously I'll need to bring it out a bit, but I can do that by adjusting that nut out. I haven't settled for where it needs to be yet. That is the part, but I'm just showing you how I come up against that. So by winding that out, obviously it's the bogie will stick out far too, or be down too much, because it doesn't need a great deal actually. You're not going to have really sharp, don't forget this is Gauge 1, you don't want too sharp curves. So it should go around, and the amount that it turns is very, very small, smaller than what you really anticipate. So if I pop that back on there, then I will put the nut up again. So the nut that needs, and the reason why I've got that washer above is to stop it from, so I'm just trying to get that in there. It gives it the kind of, because the bogie does need a little bit of float, sideways float, because the wagon on top of it. So I'm going to put it on the track, move the paperwork out the way so that you can see how it's going. So now that's on there, that's the one on the back, and you can see there's a lot of float. You probably don't need that much. That's the wagon moving on its bogie on the track. I'm going to move it back a bit so that you can see. So there you can see it's floating. I think that would be far too much, so obviously I'll adjust that. I haven't got to the final bit where I need it yet, because I'm still working on that, but that's what I'll do. But the actual bit on the inside of the coach will be fixed firm, and the reason is because these sticks that are going to form the roof will be glued on, because there'll be no access into there. So I don't want that bolt coming loose. So I'll make sure that it is firmly cemented to the floor of the wagon. Otherwise, at some point, I'm either going to have to cut a piece of the roof open or do something to it, damage it, which I don't really want to do. So that's it. So that will give you a little bit of tilt, which you do need on wagons when they're going around the corner. You just need a little bit of movement, and that's how a full-size one would go. I mean, it runs lovely like this. I mean, obviously it's too high, but I will lower that down a little bit, because obviously I've got to line up the height of that, obviously, with a locomotive as well, Gauge 1 loco. Buffers, again, I purchased some on eBay. They're not the exact, because obviously on this particular wagon, so they're the buffers I've got, properly spring loaded, and they will fit in the end. On the ones that are on these, the tops are, and the top and the bottom is flat, so it's just rounded. So what I should do is file the top and the bottom and then put that on so that it's a realistic buffer for this type of wagon, okay? And they are sprung loaded, so that would be good. So that will be quite realistic when I get them on the end of the wagon in position. Okay, they are marked out on there, so I'll just drill them out and glue them in. And then obviously the actual hook, which will be a sprung type hook. I haven't got that yet, so that'll be the next purchase probably. So that when the train starts pulling away, obviously the weight, it will pull the drawbar out a little bit, and then it will take up the tension. And then I think these were together. I don't know if they had a screw coupling between or whether it was just a free link chain coupling. But anyway, there's lots of research you can do on these type of things. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to go get too accurate thing, because I'm not sure. These are not 100% the right bogies for it, but I'm not really going to be that thing that I'm too worried about the bogies that are fitted. They run lovely, and that's the thing. And there's a lovely tilt, nice tilt on this wagon already. So, you know, it's feeling good. It glides, actually. I mean, they're beautiful. So that's where I am on that. So I will bring you up to date when I start putting the roof on. But before I do secure the roof, I want to make sure that I have got the bogie set at the right level, everything where it wants. I will probably put then on the outside a thread lock. The only thing I might do on the last bit of the bogie, this nut here, I might go for a nylock type nut, which is a nut which has like a nylon in it. And the reason for that is so it doesn't come loose. You have to undo it with a spanner, but it won't shake loose, because obviously these are going to be subject to a lot of vibration when they're running around the track. So with an ordinary nut, I don't want to put a thread lock on it, because if I need to make any adjustments and it's got a thread lock, I'm going to probably damage the whole lot by trying to get it off. So what I will use is a nut, which I call a nylock nut, which has got a nylon insert inside, which will stop the nut from slowly coming loose. And of course, like all things with the locos, wagons, trucks, whatever you're using, you should always give them a little look every now and again, oil up and things to make them run, because obviously with the smaller type locos and all the rest of it, the more things you want to haul on it, you're going to make them as free running as you can, because when you, especially if you're running live steam, when it comes to a small incline, we've all watched videos of garden railways and all the rest of it. When it comes to an incline, if the steam's a little bit low, it'll stop for a few seconds, and then you'll see when it's got enough steam, because then it'll start moving off again. Don't look that realistic, but yeah, with a Gauge 1, you want it to run a little bit more smoother than that. So the thing is to make sure that everything is as free running as you can get it, with as less friction as possible on bearings and axles and things like that. But anyway, so that's the Bowaters model that I'm making at the moment. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye now.